I'm Prasid Garimella from IIM Tiruchinapalli. Today, we're going to talk about Development Financial Institute. This talk is part of my IEP submission. This is going to be particularly about the bill that is passed by the Parliament on National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development. Is these DFI initiative new? No. ICICI, IDBI, these kind of commercial banks were first set up as a DFI. One more famous example is the NABARD that is currently operating, the National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. Now let us first understand the intent behind setting up this particular DFI, which will also give us a definition of what a DFI is. Now, this particular DFI was set up to provide long-term financing for infrastructure. Now, why is this set up? Is that infrastructure projects are one complex, two capital intensive, and three have long gestation periods. Now, the scale and complexity of infrastructure projects make financing a very big challenge for them. There are difficulties in bank-led financing for infrastructure since this increases their liability as well as their risk towards defaulting. Now, has it always been that banks were not convinced to give financing to these infrastructure projects? No. During 2000s, around that time, there were a lot of banks that were giving infrastructure projects, lending out to infrastructure projects. But then there were some issues like financial crisis and then the recession in the economy. All these aspects hit these infrastructure in a very pretty bad way, and this resulted in many infrastructure companies defaulting on their loans. With these defaults, the banks and non-performing assets, the NPAs have increased significantly. Now, to get an estimate of the current scenario, the RBI in its latest statement said that the NPAs of the banks can rise from 7.5% in September 2020 to 13.5% in September 2021. That is a significant rise. And due to the current economic situation, the banks would be much more hesitant to give out these kind of loans to high-risk infrastructure projects. So the current DFI initiative taken by the government is a very good step at this point of time, and they are planning to set it up in 3 to 4 months. Now, let us look at why the previous DFIs failed and what the government should do differently. Now, why the previous DFIs failed has been a very can be explained in 2 points. The first one is that their governance, due to government executives taking 100% ownership, the governance has been poor, as we can see in many in some of the PSUs that are going around in India at this point of time. At the same time, the second reason was that a lack of capital that even a DFI can raise so that it can give loans out to various infrastructure projects. Now, let us look at what the government can do differently this time around. Right. The first point is that the DFI should be allowed to tap the pools of capitals in the form of pension funds, insurance companies, and mutual funds. The second point is that the government is reportedly planning to give a 10-year tax exemptions to these investments. This is a very good initiative, and this will be a welcome move to the DFI. Now, the proposed DFI should also be allowed to raise long-term financing from external markets and from multilateral financial institutions. This would be an initiative that would curb the backdrops of the previous DFIs, right? Then moving on to our fourth point, as a proposed DFI needs to have a sound management structure. Now, what did the government propose for this is that it said that 50% of the executives would be 50% of the board would be non-executive members. This is the government is going in the right direction at this point. Now, the DFI will be expected to support infrastructure projects at different stages, and mostly feasibility studies are what the decisions will be based on. Apart from that, concluding, let us also look at the targets that the government set for this particular DFI. Now, the proposed DFI is expected to provide rupees 3 lakh crore towards infrastructure financing. This is nearly 3% of the 111 lakh crore expected to be invested in on over 7,000 projects as part of the National Infrastructure Pipeline till 2024 and 2025. Now, While government has full ownership of DFI at this point of time, they also do expect that their ownership will be reduced to 26% as they go along, with potential pension funds, sovereign wealth funds, as well as other insurance companies on board, so that the governance of the DFI would be much better, and this would also curb the governance issues that they faced previously with other DFIs.